Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back. I'm on for just a little bit. I know it's super late at night. But we're going to go ahead and do just a real quick live stream. I kind of want to capture as much of this process as possible, which is why I'm live streaming right now. Um, Wanted to hop on a little bit earlier, but again, not a big deal. I just wanted to get you caught up, and I am using the Google stream instead of my normal like XSplit stream. And the reason for that is that my cat decided he's going to make a bunch of arbitrary noises, and he's trying to open my door to my closet. But the reason for this is because um, I want to look at possibly having guests back on the show. That's kind of what we need. Hey, what's up, Cameron? That's kind of what I'm looking for. Is it eventually or soon, hopefully, we can get some guests back on the show, because I think it'd be cool just to have that. Okay, so I did a little bit of painting earlier today. Not much, honestly, but from last night we did the Zenithal Prime. And all I really did from there since then is I did a slight color block on the miniatures, kind of getting their majority. Is this gonna focus or what? There we go. Still has that little line across his mouth. I don't think there's much I can do about that, unfortunately. But I was getting the majority of the color down. You can see the color here on this Molmen. And then I've been doing washes. So right now, that's kind of what I'm doing, is I'm just doing detail stuff, and I'm working on the washes. Okay, so I should actually do an additional layer of wash on these guys before I really do too much more. Okay, so these guys, well, actually, you know what? I can wait. I can wait. I want to get a second layer of wash on there and actually do a little bit of a deeper wash. But hey, what's up, Tori? Thanks for hopping on. I do want to get a deeper wash on there, but I don't know. We'll see. It would be nice to play around a little bit with these and get a little bit more depth to them. But I really haven't. I mean, to be honest with you, I really haven't done much of anything to these miniatures, and they're already kind of coming around. Still have the lines and stuff that kind of bothers me, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that. It's not going to be they're not going to line up 100% perfectly, and I think we're just going to have to live with that. Okay, haven't really touched the human minis at all. Just gave Marcus a quick, just really a whoa. Is he ever gonna? I need these cameras to. Come on. There we go. See how that? There we go. Marcus needs a lot of work. I haven't done anything on him really. And same with Miranda. Miranda I haven't touched at all. She's still in the Zenithal Prime stage. Okay. So anyways, that's where we're at. We're going to do a little bit more work on the monsters themselves. And before I do the next stage of wash, I figured let's go ahead and start getting some basics down. Okay. So I'm going to we're going to start painting tongues. Okay, so just a little bit of red there. If you're just joining the program, let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Tonight's subject, obviously, is this Malifaux Marcus crew that I picked up the other night. And, you can already see, though, I haven't done too much to this crew. And already, like, it's starting to fill out. Like, we're starting to get the primary colors done, and there isn't a whole lot of there isn't a significant amount of detail work that needs to be done in these. It's just really kind of filling in smaller details at this point. So like Kojo here, I'm going to quickly paint in his tongue. Oh, but yeah, it should go pretty quick. I'm not probably won't finish anything with the amount of time I'm going to stream tonight. I may only stream for like 30, 45 minutes max. I got to paint the rattler's tongue in here, but you can see like the rattler's looking. He's already looking pretty good. It's just going to be a matter of making sure the blends look good. Hey, what's up, Blade Wolf? Thanks for joining the feed. We're back to painting up some more Malifaux. And I figure I can put this on auction while my Guild Ball stuff is on auction, and those two things won't compete with each other. It's kind of the idea, is that I can paint two different lines of miniatures, which would give me some variety and would allow me to have two listings going on eBay at any given time that are not competing. Like if I did a Guild Ball, if I did Guild Ball auctions where I put two teams up at the same time, I'm afraid that like the same bidder who is interested in a painted team is going to pick one of the two teams and just kind of focus down on that. Where if I put them on one at a time, then maybe that same person could focus in on the one team, and then let's say he doesn't get it, or even if he does, he can look at the team that's offered the following week and decide, hey, I really want that team too. Now that same person might go, hey, I want a Malifaux crew and I want a Guild Ball team. But I doubt it. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I know that I do have a couple of clients that play multiple games, and they few of them might be interested in having these both at the same time, but it's just a much safer bet than, say, trying to put two Guild Ball teams on at once. Okay, so got that down. Let's go ahead and do some teeth. Right. So I'm going to want to use Iraqi sand. And if I could find my bone white, that would be amazing. There we go. Look at that. Did not even take me very long, folks. Look at that. I'm proud of me. Did you see that? It's really impressive. My cat's back there pissing me off. In other news, the cat's pissing me off. Okay. It's what's weird is the camera angle in the Hangouts it's a wider angle. Like you guys are actually, I think you guys get a better picture from the Hangouts, and I think the focus is the autofocus is a little more responsive. Don't you guys think? I mean, because like when I stream on XSplit, I feel like I have to move the camera in, or actually I have to pull it back because it's not getting enough of the painting area. And then also I have to like manually focus it because it doesn't seem to be grabbing the focus. I don't know. Is that let me know if that's your impression, because that's certainly mine right now. Is it feels like we do a little bit of a better job on Hangouts. And if Hangouts is the way to go, I'm just gonna stick with Hangouts. I like that option much better anyways, because like I said, you know, I would like to consider bringing people on more often so that they can talk about some of the topics that I'm covering. Um, I don't like, kind of out of necessity, this show evolved into more of a kind of a solo narrated show. But I mean, it didn't start out that way, and I don't, if I have my druthers, I would rather not keep it that way. These guys are so funny. This little mole man. I do like the old metal mole men. They had a little more character to them. They seemed happier. These guys seem, I don't know. These guys seem a little more generic in scope. They seem a little more like what you'd expect mole men to look like. And I get a little disappointed when Weird does that. They're called Weird miniatures, and I expect them to, you know, always be a little bit left of what people expect. So when they, like the original ice golem, and I know like the majority of people will disagree with me because the new ice golem does look quite cool. Don't get me wrong, but it looks like what you would expect from an ice golem. The original ice golem was just like more like a giant ice man, and I kind of liked it. I thought that was kind of cool. I'm gonna have to paint the warts a different color. I think that's only fair. I mean, I could focus down on trying to get the Molman done tonight. It's not a bad plan. That would give me kind of a blueprint of what to do with the other stuff. But in general, the animals are gonna, the beasts, I should say, the beasts are gonna finish faster, and that will leave me with Marcus and Miranda to paint. Okay. All right. I have to find my M2E rule book. It's not a must, but I figure I might as well. I just want to do a little reading on stuff. So even if I'm not going to play the game, which I'm still undecided on, um, I'm going to paint the minis, that's for sure. And then, when I'm painting minis of stuff, I like to know what the fluff is. Like, I like to know a little bit of the background. It's been a while since I've read any Malifaux fluff, and the last time I did, it made me quit the game. So hopefully it's not the same experience this time. Trying to figure out what my cat is doing behind me. It's got me second guessing. Ooh, got a weird like mold line on the claws here. That's kind of sad. I don't like that. I think for the warts on the mole man, I think I'm gonna take black, like charcoal or black gray or something, um, and make kind of darker warts on it, like they're supposed to be rocks or something like that. I think Kojo is my favorite miniature in the entire set. for you Guild Ball fans out there. This is what I hope that they'll do a veteran marbles, and it'll be a giant gorilla like this size. That would be awesome. But yeah, I do, if we're going to do these streams, I'd like to have, some people on, make this a little more conversational, like it was, like the show used to be. And we can talk topics and whatever. They can paint if they want, but it wouldn't be a requirement. If you could hop on and have something, you know, entertaining to say, interesting to say or entertaining to say, that'd be enough. You can hop on and tell us what games you're playing, what you think about other games. Um, you could hop on and talk about painting, although I think I was always disappointed by the shows that came out. Um, when Google Hangouts first really started, um, there was a bunch of like some of the bigger channels put on these like painting live streams, and they wouldn't paint on the live stream, and that just drove me nuts. I'm like, well, what's the point if you're going to do something like that? Just do a podcast or something, because it's not like they were taking live questions or anything. They would just do a stream of like two guys talking about what they intend to paint, and it was incredibly unfulfilling. You down to hop on? Maybe when I get more knowledge in Malifaux, could talk Bushido. Yeah, it would be interesting to have you come on and like try to sell me on Bushido, you know, or Malifaux, or both. You could be the voice of, hey, we need to play. You need to play this game, and here's why, or here's why I like this game. Um, I don't know about. I know I used the word sell, but I hope it doesn't come off like that. Right. It would be better if it was just sort of, here's what I like, and here's what I dislike about the game, but here's overall why I play it. And I think that's the most honest way you can give a review of a miniatures game. Now, the one thing, like, YouTube tries to do, there's some channels that try to do reviews of miniature games. This channel is one of those channels. Like, I used to do a segment called Play It Painted on this channel, where we would try different games and I would give my impression of the games. The issue with that is because these are hobbies, and these hobbies um, uh, require you, not require, but for me they require you to take the time to build, prep, and paint stuff that you may be. I find that I might be inherently biased um, towards games because, like, I've already invested a bunch of time in it, and I want people to play with me. So I may like a lot more games than I really should, and I know that's true because there are some game systems that I have invested in that I've gone back and tried to look at objectively and say, no, I really shouldn't play this game. It's not really worth my time. It doesn't really fulfill me, even you know, even if the painting itself uh, is unfulfilling. So what I used to do when I was reviewing games for Play It Painted um, is I would integrate my experience painting, building, and painting the miniature lines associated with the games, to kind of give a little more, um, I guess, a little more uh, broad review of the entire game, because I do consider, you know, collecting, building, and painting the miniatures for each game to be kind of an integral part of your enjoyment of the game. Now, there are a bunch of guys that aren't hobbyists and they're strictly gamers, but they're gamers, but they're here for a reason, right? Even though they may not paint anything, they are here because they still enjoy the aesthetics of the miniatures. They still enjoy the characters. There are aspects of the miniature side of the miniature wargaming hobby that they gravitate towards, and that means um, that they have an opinion on the aesthetics, and so they can talk about the miniatures and whether or not they like them too. So, so I do still feel really strongly that even if you're not a quote unquote hobbyist and you're more of a gamer, that the miniature experience is still something that should be part of the review. Now, a lot of like board game reviewers, because they're not hobbyists, will simply point out like, oh, I really like the miniatures that come with the game. They're highly detailed, whatever. They were pre-assembled. That's a plus for pure gamer types. It's not necessarily a plus for hobbyists because, like, for example, the new Guild Ball stuff that's coming out is pre-assembled, but my main concern is, well, if I want to paint them, I'm going to want to put them on custom basing. How hard is it going to be for me to either clip the existing base off, which I hope I don't have to do, or just remove the models from the existing base and then be able to um, put them on a custom base. Because that's what I would prefer to do. But yeah, I think it's a part of reviewing um, games that are either miniature games or board games that come with miniatures. I think that's a good part of the review. But like I was saying, for miniature games, reviews online or on YouTube, it's extremely rare that a review would come on and the person would say, no, I didn't like this game, I wouldn't play it. And then there's a lot of guys that like seek sponsorship from the companies, like, hey, I'm going to review your game on my channel, send me free stuff. I know some channels that are all about that. And I don't know, I think that's, yeah, I take issue with that personally, because it's like, okay, if you want to be sponsored by a miniature manufacturer, that's one thing. Like, get on, paint their products, play their games, and show them off in front of the camera and say, here's the game, I really like it, yada yada yada. Don't call it a review though. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe they have to call it something else. I mean, it is still technically a review, but the other thing I guess they can do, and I've seen some channels do this, and I really appreciate it when they do, is they'll say, full disclosure, this company sent me these minis to look at. Like, I like that, because yeah, you can still give a review, but you're telling everybody up front, like, look, I got something for this, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. You know, some of the channels that do that are like the painting clinic. He'll do that when companies want some advertising, essentially, and they'll send him kits for free and he'll put the kits together. Now, what I really like about Tony is that he will, even if they send him free stuff, he's still pretty open about what he likes and what he doesn't like. And the, he can get pretty good at complaining about stuff. So yeah, he has companies that are looking to endorse or have their endorsements, but he's also like very honest about what he likes and doesn't like. I just don't like these channels that for a while that there was a pack of them that existed just to get free stuff. It's like, oh, we're gonna make ourselves this super popular network of channels that'll give us more bargaining power with the manufacturers, and we'll get more free stuff. That's the part that sucks. Have I gotten free stuff as part of this channel? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I've had a few manufacturers send me stuff. And when they have, I've been very open about it. Like, look, these were sent to me by the company, and I don't, I try not to. I try to like spell that out up front before I say I'm gonna give you a review, or I'm gonna share my thoughts about this. Or the other thing in my case, like if I volunteer for the programs, like the pundit programs or the ninja programs or anything like that, I'll tell you guys up front, like, full disclosure, I'm a ninja volunteer, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Some of these reviewers don't do that, and I think it's a little misleading. Honestly, if you're gonna do that, at least be honest about it, be transparent, right? Let's see. It really depends on game style or play. I need to buy more SDE. Whew. Well, the Legends Kickstarter is coming out soon. I didn't go crazy on that one. I didn't go as big as I did on Forgotten King. Like Forgotten King, I got everything. Um, for Legends, I just kind of updated my collection. I don't want to. I think I'm at this point with SDE where it is a fun game. It really is. But I run so much of it. Like I demo that game at conventions and during game nights and all kinds of stuff. I do that so much that it's very hard for me to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a giant set and then we're just gonna play a giant game of it. That's like I'm up to my ears in games of it. I don't need more games. That said, I do love the chibi. I do like painting them, but I got to take a break every now and then because it just gets to be a lot. Ooh, this jackalope is really cool. I do like the new jackalope here. Thing is, you've given those back out to the community. Yeah, that's true. That is, yeah. Like if I get stuff from companies or whatever, a lot of times I do give those away. The most recent, I guess, unofficial sponsors of content I've done here has been Slow Death Games. So Wild in the Streets, Chris Kohler and that game, really cool guy. And I'm genuinely excited about his game and his products. I love them. I love the theme. It's very different. And I like featuring stuff like that because I do believe in his product. I do like his product. But I've got stuff from Mr. Dandy. I'm not trying to brag about stuff, but everybody actually, if you have a reasonably active channel, you can get stuff from Mr. Dandy because he's just the nicest human being on earth. You just have to like reach out to the guy and say, "Hey, I'm trying to do this. Can you help me out?" And he will more often than not help you out. He's just a really, really nice guy. Okay, so I'm doing some boring little detail work here, but we'll be done with this momentarily, and then I can. What I'll do is I'll base coat the bases on these also. So I guess we'll say my goal is to try to finish or get these fairly close to finish. I'm gonna get 10 Thunders. It's a cool looking faction. I used to play. I used to actually have all the original 10 Thunders boxes, and Mei Feng and Misaki and Yanlo, Jacob Lynch, 10 Thunders. It was kind of a weird fit for 10 Thunders. They made sense of it in the fluff because he's kind of the opium den, the owner of the opium and gambling den. Good night. See you, Blade. Yanlo is the homie. Yanlo is really fun back in 1.5. I don't really know how he plays now, but he was pretty fun. Basically, David Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China. He's a really cool crew with the niece. I forget what her name is, but he basically had these different spirits that worked in his crew, and he was the guy that he could absorb chi whenever stuff around him dies, and absorbing chi would make him stronger and stronger. So he's a master who would get stronger as the game progressed, and more models would die. Very fun play style there. Kind of want to play 10 Thunders in Guild Ball. I'm not sure how you would do that, but okay. Okay, sure. Chikai the niece. You get chi and then put them in the paths, and each path would have certain buffs. Now he gains chi a lot more, and the paths are upgrades. Oh, got it. Okay, cool. But yeah, that was a fun, 10 Thunders Reser Master. Okie doke. So now, oh wait, now, yeah. I guess what I'll do right now is I will paint the bases in green, and then we'll start to paint the other areas brown where there's supposed to be brown. All right. So I need that deep green that I was using for the hunters. Oh, it is getting late. Probably will not. You know what? We're gonna have to skip this part then, because what I'd rather do with the time I've got left, and it's not much time, is I'd rather move over uh, to the darker wash, because I've got to go. Uh, actually, no, that's like the sloppiest way of pouring wash, like straight out of the bucket. There, I hate those GW flip tops. Anyways, I'm gonna thin down. So what I'm doing is I'm thinning down some Agrax Earthshade, and then we're going to use this a little more selectively to get into the deeper recesses of the model. I can show you with Kojo here. So with Kojo, he's already looking pretty good. I just need to. We're just going to use this wash to, further accentuate the recesses. So like the deep cracks here around his neck. If I want a little more shading here on the lower side of his belly, I can do that. And then if you screw up, it's a really thin down wash, so you can still move it. But it does what it's supposed to do. Just give you a richer shade on this guy. And it's actually giving a little more layering to the colors, the colorations of the model. Because actually this model, when I did the color blocking, there's a lot of purple in this model, which you may not see. But the model should have, it does have a little bit of a purple tinge to it. Debating getting droppers for my GW paints. Yeah, you should. I don't use their paints proper. I just use the washes. Their paints kind of drive me insane. So I will just stick with their washes, which I absolutely adore. But yeah. So this is just giving Kojo here a bit more depth to him. But I mean, overall, he's pretty much there. And if you don't feel like you're getting enough shade, then the easiest thing to do is just let it dry and hit it with another shade. You could even just mix some black with with this Agrax Earth shade, and then do it do another layer of it, and it should give you what you want. But again, make sure you thin it out, because if you don't, then if you just went straight, then all you would get is the color of whatever the darkest wash is. Which is kind of what I'm getting here in the moment. But luckily, it's given me the right, when it mixes with the base color, it's given me the correct color, the intended color for the moment. Basically, I'm saying I meant to do that. And you can accuse me of not meaning to do that, but yeah, I actually did mean to do that, to get that. That's the color I wanted from the moment. But these are looking great. They are looking really good. And really, I mean, I really haven't been doing anything to these guys. Just giving them the most basic job ever. And then, you don't really want the wash to pool. So just be careful about that. Jackalope here. Really liking this little mini. I've got to He's standing on a severed head, and I have to paint the head in. Just like infinitely harder than painting the rest of this thing, because you can see it's pretty much done there. This should look nice too, because you can see a lot of different color. There's different color transitions on the Cerberus, so this should look kind of cool. Once again, the key here is to thin down the glaze, thin down the wash, and then just kind of build to the color, the coloration that you're happy with. This is really, like, painting really doesn't get simpler than this. That's one of the things that's cool about these Malifaux sculpts is, you give them a kind of a paint by numbers approach, and they come out, as long as you didn't really bork up the consistency of your paints, or like chose too high of a sheen, they're going to look good when they dry. And finally, this thing. The Rattler is quite fun. But yeah, no real rocket science here, guys. Just taking advantage of the sculpt itself and letting these tools do their job. That's kind of how I feel about these washes. Is they're a tool. They're not, you know, they may not be the end all be all of painting. They're definitely, a lot of people look at this as kind of low skill painting, and so do I. I mean, it's real simple, basic stuff, but it does produce a nice, reasonable standard here for painting, and it looks great. So yeah, so I mean, really haven't done a whole lot. If I had another hour or so, I could have finished pretty much all the monsters that you see on your screen. But no, I gotta call it. It's 11:30 right now, so real late at night. I gotta get up and go to work tomorrow. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even think I've been on for an hour, have I? I think it's been more like 45 minutes or so. But unfortunately, that's all the time I had to record tonight. Um, but I think it's kind of better in a sense. I think um, if I can find like hour sessions or less than an hour sessions and film that instead of or stream that instead of streaming like 2 hours straight, I think they may be more entertaining, particularly if we have you know people that will hop on and kind of give their throw their 10 cents in, or people who conversationally can know how to ask good questions and keep the conversation flowing. All right, so anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Wow, never really, nothing is in focus right now. This stuff all looks terrible, doesn't it? Well, I guess it can't really focus that well. Everything is still drying. But whatever. You just have to trust me. And look, there you go. There you go. Ah, lost it. There we go. See, real simple. Letting it dry. Looks a little washed out on screen, but they'll look better. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good night, guys, and we'll see. Maybe I can turn the camera on tomorrow night as well. All right. Talk to you later. Oh, I gotta